Trying something different this time, a different orientation on the videos. This is ukulele page 16, and this is, I think, a little bit different page. So I'll try to explain things before I do them as well as I can. It starts out being about the notes on the fourth string. So now the first line, the rhythm of it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. It's just how I laid out the notes. So we have, of course, the low G, and then G sharp, first fret, A sharp, B, and then this next note is a C, which of course is usually on the third string open, but you can also come up here to the fifth fret. So in this case, 5, I mean, you only have 4 fingers to work with, so 5 refers to the 5th fret, and you use what might be called an extended 4th finger slide up there for C, and then back for B, B flat, which is the same as A sharp, A flat, which is the same as G sharp, and G. And as I think I've said before, if you were looking at a piano, these would be, you'd be able to tell it pretty nicely, because you'd have, for instance, a C white key, and then next to it is a black key, that's C sharp, and then there's a white key, D. But if you go from D back to that black key, you can call it D flat. Whether you call a note sharp or flat depends on at least a couple of things, one of which is the key signature, but it also depends on what scale the piece is in. We'll try to get into some of that. So number 1 here is, as it says, a study in G minor, and see the key signature. Now, from now on, you need to start looking at the key signature to see what's supposed to be sharp or supposed to be flat. This key signature has B and E flat, and so that makes it would make the key B flat major. But if you're in the minor key, there's what we call a relative minor, and maybe sometime I'll do a page on that theory. Anyway, the relative minor is G minor. So I probably maybe should have put a G minor scale in here. So G minor scale would be starting on G and then going up the notes, but putting in a B flat and an E flat. So G minor scale would be G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. Now there are 2 other kinds of minor scales. I won't get into that, although it kind of gets used in a piece later on. Anyway, so for right now, we'll just do this. Let's see, let's look ahead at it then. Comes down a scale. There's an E, so it's flat. And here's C, and then these next notes are E flat and G and C. Now you can also pluck these with I just strummed them, but you can pluck them with your thumb, index, middle finger. And then next is F, E flat, E, D. Sorry, I'm getting those mixed up. F, E flat, D, C, B flat. Now that's a little bit of a clumsy chord there. It's actually a G minor chord, but you have a B flat on the bass note there. Next line. And then we have the note A, which is on 2nd fret, but I put a 1 there for first finger because your first finger is going to finger that one, and you're kind of a nice chord, right? It is, let me see, what's it called? You could call it a C minor with an A bass note, or you could call it an A diminished 7, I think would be another proper way to call it. And then you come down, and this one I marked as G minor. Okay, well, I'm going to move right along on this next one. So the next, number 2, warns you there are some different fingerings. So you might have a note, say for instance D. In this case, in fact, in this piece, we're going to have a D, but instead of fingering it with the second finger, we'll finger it with the first finger, because then we can put F sharp next to it. Number 2 is in the key of G major. And, well, let's see. Let's go through slowly here. G, A, B, A, B, A and C sharp. And then there's a slide. When you see a line, it means slide. So you're on C sharp, you're going to slide up to D. And then since your first finger is already on D, you put your second finger next to it for F sharp. So that first line of number 2. Now I maybe should mention you also could finger this A in what would be second position. So your first finger would be on second fret. So the A you could finger with your first finger, the B with your third finger. You could do that. But actually it's probably better in this case to do it the first way with second finger, fourth finger. So the second line has one tricky measure. The second measure, so first measure, second measure, you finger B with your third finger, D with your first finger, and G here with your second finger. And I play on the right hand, index, middle, middle, index. Usually you're not supposed to repeat using one finger, but in this case, it's easier to go like that, middle, index. And then it goes on, and we get to the third line. Here again, D with the first finger, and I'm going to pluck that with the thumb, but the next 2 notes with my index middle. Same thing on the next measure, and this is the fingering for a G chord. G chord again. And now here we have a 4-note chord. So what do? Do you strum it? You can. Or you can play it with all 4 fingers. Thumb, index, middle, ring. I wrote this, I composed it, as silly and simple as it is, so you can do it however you want. The fourth line, here's the G chord again, C chord, A with the first finger, because now we're going to bar on the second fret, and at the end. So once again, that next to the last measure, we have a C chord, a part of a C chord anyway. C, and then the note A. And then you lay that first finger down. And now I have a 2 by the C on this chord. But you can use your third finger if you're already there. And then it goes down to the A. And last but not least, this is going to be a long video here, but number three, the first line is, this is what you call a chromatic scale. It's all the white keys and black keys. So the first line is 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 1, 2, 3, D sharp, on to E, open, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, onto the first string, A sharp. Now on the bottom line, there's two sets of notes or of fingerings. So the top set says B, 2, 3, C sharp, and then it has a D, high D. Well, high D is on the 5th fret, so you could extend your 4th finger up there. That's what X4 means. And then you come back down, you bring your 4th finger back to the 4th fret for D flat, formerly known as C sharp, C, B, B flat, which is also A sharp, open A, then you're on to the 2nd string, A flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, open. The other way to finger that transition from the end of the first line of number 3, you're on A, and so then you play A sharp, and then you could slide your finger up, which is what the option is, slide it up to B, C with the 2nd finger, C sharp with the 3rd finger, D with the 4th finger, and then back to D flat with 3rd, B or C with 2nd, B with 1st, and then you slide your 1st finger back. There are other ways to do it too. You could start out that way: A sharp to B, C, C sharp, D, and then you could slide your 4th finger back. So you'd be up in there in 2nd position to get you up to D, and then you'd move back to 1st position to get you to D flat. Okay, hope you can figure that out. I'll see you on page 17.